Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Big Screen Show. My name is Victor,
I'm Alex.
It's Wyatt.
and we're back bringing you guys another movie review. This time, something a little different outside of the movie theater, straight to streaming on Apple TV Plus. We're reviewing today The Instigators, starring Casey Affleck and Matt Damon, which is exciting. Apple likes to bring the big guns sometimes, so really enjoy that. Um, I'm gonna let Alex take the reins here on this first general thoughts out of the three of us, considering you were the one who brought to our attention this movie and that we should do a video on it. So, Alex, you have the floor.
All right, so yeah, honestly, I give this movie a start. I give it a 6 out of 10 because honestly, I found this movie like pretty funny and how it basically the title just kind of encapsulates base essentially what mostly the plot is and around the characters of Matt Damon and Casey Affleck's characters, where they kind of just basically instigate and just cause all sorts of trouble and fuck ups in this. But I do like it because the comedy bit is really funny. It actually has some pretty good sequence there where it's actually made pretty practical, which like adds like the realism of what it's doing for its plot. And again, most of the humor definitely comes from Casey Affleck's character, and this is Matt Damon in a role where it's pretty different from the ones he usually plays. And I think that's actually a pretty fresh take.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, the plot doesn't go exactly the way one might think or expect, where some might say it's either good or it's good and kind of smart and creative. Others might say maybe it's problematic, but I actually found like pretty a good mix. I will say the movie story threads kind of is underdeveloped when it comes to like certain characters or there's certain like developments or the underutilization of like some characters who are meant to be like probably meant to have like more higher involvement than what one would think. But I think that the story's threads with like the the comedic dynamic between Damon and Affleck in this, I think actually helps kind of make this movie a little bit more better than what any other normal film would turn out to be. Where this movie isn't disappointing, but still feels like pretty fun, and I think you'll probably get like a pretty bit of enjoyment out of it. So like, so again, great solid chemistry between Damon and Affleck. A bit of underdevelopment in like story thread and characters, but all in all, a pretty fun ride despite the mixed receptions I've been hearing about it.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
I also gave it a 6 out of 10. A 6 out of 10 for me is a good one-time watch. I wouldn't watch this movie again, but I had a decent time running through this movie. I thought there was some comedic relief with Matt Damon, but I did find Casey Affleck's character um maybe a little annoying at times. I was even watching with my roommate, and he was complaining that his voice was so annoying. And I felt like he was a little annoying at times within the movie, but maybe that's just the comedic relief that they were going for. Uh, I did like a lot of Matt Damon's comedy. Like I said, the movie, all in all, it was star studded. I can't lie. When I was first watching the movie, I'm like, man, there's a lot of stars in this. Even the mayor, he played in Sons of Anarchy, and I've known him from a lot of other roles where he's usually playing like more of a villain type character.
Yeah, Ron Perlman again. He's also most
Yeah.
notably known for like his role in Hellboy in the Guillermo del Toro films.
Oh, okay. He is in Hellboy also. I remember that. And even his lawyer is an actor in many films. We see
Mm-hmm.
him in a lot of films. Also, I'm not sure his name. Like I'm bad with actors and actresses' names. Uh,
Yeah, Toby
but
Jones.
there, boom, Alex. That's why we got Alex here. And I thought it was star studded. Uh, the psychiatrist. She's been in other films also. So we have a star studded cast coming into this. 6 out of 10. it was a good one time watch. Without getting any spoilers or getting any specifics. Good one time watch. 6 out of 10.
Sure, sure. So I agree with a lot of things you guys said. The difference I think for me was that so my rating off rip is a 5 out of 10. It's just like one
Oh
point
man,
below what I give a good one time watch. I just think it was an okay one time watch. That's the difference. I don't know if it's necessarily good, and I'm not talking about the movie necessarily per se. I just think, or actually I am, but I just mean like the plot and everything is fine. The characters and everything is fine. The acting is fine. I just think everything is very middle of the road for me. There wasn't, I guess, there wasn't this like moment of oomph that I was hopefully waiting for at some point in time. The ending was like nice, but I it's not I guess I want to say it's more of a feeling, which is why it's really hard to put it into words. I'm pretty sure we feel a very similar way about it because I'm only 1 point away from y'all. Like, I just know I definitely
I
would
get
not
what you're
watch it.
saying. It didn't have that oomph. It didn't have that
Yeah,
climax of
yeah.
a
I was waiting
movie.
for this big, like, boom, like just this one little, like, moment of I don't know if it's epicness. I don't know if it's twist. I don't know if it's a line or a moment or I don't really know what it is because the movie is what it is. I don't know how to make a movie, but there's this just thing that was feeling for me in my experience of watching it that was missing. That had it have been there, it could have been potentially 6 or 7. Whereas I was, I guess, a little disappointed because everything moving forward as you progress to the movie from the beginning was like enjoyable, 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 but that oomph never came, so it never really got past that threshold of where I was hoping it to pass. So that's why for me it's just a 5 out of 10. It's more on the disappointing side. I don't necessarily think it's a bad movie. I didn't hate my time watching it. Um, I don't regret watching it. I just was missing a little bit of extra pop, and I really wish I could specify that a little better. But it really is just more of a feeling rather than anything. But we have a very if both y'all gave it a 6, I gave it a 5. I really think we're in a similar territory and ballpark here with it.
Yeah,
Um,
I think what it is for
but
me, I
that
think what it might be, I think it's just because dude, like it's very underdeveloped with like the character development, specifically with like Matt Damon's character and stuff like that, where it doesn't. Where I think I think the impact that they're mostly trying to go for was more like think more like kind of like an emotional thing between the two characters and everything. What I don't think it was really fleshed out enough, and it was fleshed out enough where it didn't really
You have
get
a
that
good
satisfying
point.
conclusion.
They didn't set their pasts up in the right way. Where we could have used like a monologue or something, maybe in the beginning of the movie of Casey in jail going through some things that he went through, or
so
Matt
hold up.
Damon in the past with some of his family
Yeah,
things
spoiler
that he's
territory
went
there,
through.
man.
Oh, my bad, my bad.
So yeah,
We'll talk
let's
about
move on.
we'll go into more detail later, but I think that's probably a pretty good setup there. So we'll
Yeah, yeah.
get
It's
that.
not too
Yeah.
much, not too much spoilers. Yeah,
So 2 6s and a 5. I think since it's an Apple TV movie and it's a watch at home, I would not tell people to not watch it. I would say, yeah, you can watch it. It's a decent time for a one time
Yeah.
thing. You're not
I
really
think they'll be
paying for it.
entertained. I think they'll be entertained, and the comedy
Yes.
is going to be like either hit or miss for you, depending on if you like Casey Affleck or not. For me, I found him entertaining, and I thought he had like the best bits of comedy since he's like
Yeah, I like him.
he's basically a shit talker throughout the film. I just found that very funny.
Hmm.
See, he adds more
Yeah.
levity to how serious the situation is. You know.
Well, the movie is very Boston, so I was expecting this going into it. Every time we get into a Boston movie, Boston based, Boston influenced people and or characters, in the movie are from Boston. That's just what you got to strap in for every time. And if it's not that way, I'd actually would be disappointed, which is why I wear my Red Sox shirt today. Go Boston. But yeah, so I was definitely I think that was also a positive for me. I like him too, and I just like the whole. I like all that is what I'm trying to say. I agree with you, Alex. But with that being said, if you have some spare time at home, don't know what to watch, looking for something to watch, I wouldn't stray you away from watching this movie.
I
Definitely would
still,
not.
I still say go watch it and give it a look. You might find it enjoyable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
good
So
one timer.
yeah. So with that being said, that's gonna end our spoiler section of the video. We do videos like this at least once a week. So if you like videos like this, please make sure to subscribe. It really does help us out. And if you like this specific video, please make sure to let us know by hitting that thumbs up button down there because, again, it really does help us out. Also, let us know what your rating is because we both, so we have 2 6s and a 5, but we're very curious if you have seen this movie, let us know your rating. But if you also have seen this movie, then stick around because we're about to get into spoilers, more detail into this conversation. So let's do that now. Spoiler warning. But you were saying about the Alex. We can go into that point where we were just on about the expansion of the characters and all that both of y'all were talking about.
Yes, I know it's very much established that Casey Affleck's character Kobe is basically he had recently just gotten out of prison after after taking the rap for like his for after taking like the rap on a criminal charge from his brother who had basically had
Mm-hmm.
OD'd and he basically was left in prison by this group of people that his brother was associating with. So again, after he got out of prison, he's just kind of been like just kind of been keeping distance away from other people, trying to just getting drunk, having to use other people to use his breathalyzer on his motorcycle so he can drive around in. So he has basically distrust of like everybody because he thinks because again he was left behind to fend for himself in prison for almost like for about 3 years. So that's kind of his character sense
Mm-hmm.
there. And then along the way, he has to work with Matt Damon's character Rory, where as you find out, he was a marine who was a mechanic. But again, they don't really go much into that one specifically. But it does show that he needs to come up with this specific amount of money so they can have a reason to actually be able to stand in front of his son proudly to be his father again. But again,
Mm-hmm.
the emotional catharsis and stuff isn't fully realized or well developed enough to be fully resolved between these two characters because again it doesn't really go much more detail into like because about why or how Rory Matt Damon's character is in therapy with his therapist psychiatrist and like that. They don't really go much more into that one, so it's like they're not giving us much into that to really get that more investment for the actual development to really go through. It's enough to where we feel for him, like he wants to see his son, but because like I think it's like certain pride or like something he owes that he doesn't feel like he's kind of deserving enough to do it. But by the end of the movie, he does go see his son, but. I don't really think there's much to the climax of the film to really show that there doesn't change, and I really don't see much reason for them to be able to want it. He was because again in the movie he was suicidal, where he doesn't really care what happens to him just as long as he gets the money. But there's really not much connection about the reason about why he would want to kill himself if he wants to see his son to get the money. I don't know if it's like a life insurance thing, but it's never mentioned, so I don't think that's it. So I don't know. And you would think that with the fact that the chemistry between Kobe and Rory, even with their different personalities, you think that there's a lot more better connection development between the two. That you think that this would be like the best person that Kobe could trust with it. But at the end of the movie,
Right.
they kind of go their separate ways. So like maybe it's just like we had a good we hung out, we had a good time, talk here and there, but like we out. But I just feel like there could have been a little bit more in there. There could have been like a little bit more in there to get these full resolution arcs to like Kobe has a friend he can count on, and Rory he's not suicidal. He went to go see his son. I mean, the stuff is there, but I don't think there's enough middle ground in between to where I feel fully satisfied. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I get
Sure.
that. No, I get
Yeah.
that. You hit it right on the head.
Do you have anything to add to that? Why? Because I know you were also talking
Yeah, like I said,
about this stuff.
they could have fixed this problem with just a short monologue of him in war, him experience some crazy shit while he was in the Marines, and then
Mm-hmm.
maybe coming home to his family, maybe having some family issues and stuff like that. You see what he's going through with his wife that's supposedly unpreparable, like she's not coming back, like he states that in the movie. And maybe you get some background on, like, some of the things he's went through. Maybe you get some background on some of the things Casey Affleck has went through in jail and in prison. Maybe you get a scene of him actually taking the rap for his brother, and then him having to get maybe a phone call that his brother OD'd, and him going to that funeral and stuff like that. So they could have added those scenes in like quick flashback modes, and it wouldn't have added much time to the movie at all. And it would have given us some background and given us all some connection with these characters. Because, like, personally, I would have been connected with Matt Damon coming home with PTSD. Because, like, my dad came home from war with PTSD. So, like, that would have made a connection for me where I really didn't get that connection because they didn't show us or give us any background on it. Another person could have made a connection with, maybe they went to jail for some BS that they really didn't do, or maybe they've been treated unfairly, or maybe they've just served time in general, and this could be a comeback story for them, but we didn't get to see much of that either. So they really missed the point on connecting with the general public in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 'cause I think that's
Yeah.
maybe the major
Yeah.
problem. But yeah, go ahead, Vic.
Oh no. If you got some, you can go ahead.
No, no, oh no, you're fine. Go ahead.
That was it. Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. I do think that is one of the major problems. Maybe that is it, because now that we're in spoiler territory, I was definitely the entire time thinking, like, kind of like, okay, this is cool, but I really hope it's you know this about me, Alex. I like it when it's all like tied up in a nice bow come the ending. So when it's not, it usually throws me off, and like the whole movie is basically like dead to me. So I was really hoping that after going through like all these heists, and then you can't get the heist and you got no money out of it, and this bracelet, I was like, if y'all don't make sense out of this, I will be upset. But the way they actually did like the second heist and got out of it with the or the fire truck and all this, I was like, okay, cool, so that's that. And I was like, thumbs up. But why do I still feel like a little empty, a little missing something? And I think that might have been it. It's just like the connection of it all, or the connection between them two of it all, is, you could argue, one of the weaker parts of this movie, if not the weakest part of this movie, because
Man, you're right.
it's
Because
so vague.
in the end, they didn't even get what they was coming for. They didn't even get the objective of the movie. He needed the money. He didn't end up
No, he
getting
did get the
any.
money.
How did he get the money?
You didn't get the
He
money.
gave it to he gave it to the psychiatrist, and she took it out in her vest. Remember?
They didn't
It
show
didn't
that.
show that, but yeah, it didn't show that, but they agreed on that.
I don't. I don't
I
think
don't
that
think that
happened.
happened.
That didn't happen. Or then they was
Yeah,
shown that at the end of the film. She didn't
yeah.
get the money. She suggested it, but they didn't do it.
They didn't do it. I totally was going off of the idea that they went through with that.
Man, so
No.
that's a major thing in the plot that they didn't show that to us.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they didn't because I feel like that's a big thing to skip over. So that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I think
So what? He
mostly.
accepted that he wasn't gonna get the money, and still went and went and saw his child.
Well,
Broke boy,
that's it.
boy,
Well,
boy,
that is
boy,
well
boy.
that kind of was the point because the thing is, it was mentioned before oh yeah, no, it was the before when they went and escaped in the fire truck with like the firefighter suits and stuff like that. They actually did grab some money, but they put it in like the fireman
In
boots
the
and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that.
boots.
But when they got
Yeah,
out
Yeah.
of jail, they're like, oh yeah, we took that money. You don't got shit.
yeah.
So
So
like they
I
were
don't,
basically
Right.
left with nothing. Because I think
I
the
don't think they
main
got
type
it.
of thing, I think the main thing is that they're both losers, really. And again, we know they're not the smartest criminals because I think that's like the main thing is like most of the people there are
Well,
kind of
Matt Damon
smart.
sure ain't.
He wasn't
Yeah,
even a criminal. Yeah.
he's just some desperate dude who's trying to get the
This
money
his
just to
first
see
time
his
around the
son.
block. That boy was.
Yeah.
Hey, I will say that was so funny. Him asking questions. He was like, I have a gun." Oh, so okay, and he writes it down.
Yeah,
It's like, yo, that was
I
funny.
gotta take notes on this.
Yeah, I gotta take notes. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, that was funny, but I did like how this kind of unexpected comedic bits and stuff like that. Because I think that's why I find it entertaining. Where it's this thing where in normal movies it kind of goes right, it's all well played out, it's well thought out, like normal heist film type stuff. But since we got these two other guys who basically get involved in this whole thing where a job goes wrong, but they literally have no idea what they're doing half the time, and creates this more bits of fun and stuff to it, where it's unexpected. Because like again, you weren't really expecting to think that they weren't going to get the money at all by the end of it, but then it turns around to like, yeah, we still had it, but then we still lost it due to like, hey, corrupt politicians and cops and things like that. That's Boston politics for you there.
Man, I do want to harp on them not getting the objectives. Them not getting money, and then Casey Affleck really not fulfilling anything. He fucked over his only homie that owned the bar and owned a super nice house. Like blew both of them shits up. Like he ain't fucking. He ain't messing with him
Yeah.
no more. So like
Yeah.
he lost his only friend, and now he's saying deuces to this guy, to the only other person that he's created this relationship with in the movie, and they're saying
Right.
deuces to each other. It's just like, man, now that we're thinking, I didn't think about this just right after the movie. I'm just thinking about this now. But like now that they like didn't set their characters upright and that they didn't achieve the objective in the end, man.
Yeah, I think a part of that is like this when they actually had gotten around to seeing when they took hostage, Rory's therapist. He did basically analyze Kobe. There basically he does just basically push everybody away for the sake of things like he can't be hurt and things like that because due to like this whole thing with like his brother taking the cover for like this criminal organization that he basically
But
did a
hold
job for,
up.
which is hypocritical.
He went and sat with the therapist at the end of the movie, Casey Affleck.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
because he was
did.
hitting on her the whole time. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
could. It
yeah.
insinuates that they created. Yeah, they kind of like each other. It's probably moving in
Nah,
that direction.
Man, they should have had it.
I think the more I got from that was basically how she basically said that he basically just needs to act like a friend. So I think what it is, it's more of a connection thing where he's actually trying to make a friend. But I think therapy is also kind of what he needs now. Where I think whereas Rory, he basically just needs to like get his pride out of the way and just go be a father to his son. Just go see him, and then Casey Affleck's character is learning how to just let people in is kind of what I got from that. No, I do
And you
think
can
that
take
could.
it.
I know. I do think that plot could merge still well with Rory and Kobe being buddies, and again with the psychiatrist. So like, I didn't think they really need to separate those two things, in my personal
They, sh-
opinion.
they should have just added like a little end credit scene of them linking back up with the therapist and getting the money.
Yeah, or linking
Yeah,
up and maybe
that's
just
all it
having
would
some.
have took.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
like meeting up and just having a drink together,
yeah,
buddies
yeah,
and your
yeah.
therapist by your side, because again, the therapist she literally just went like the extra mile to just try and stop Rory from like doing more stupid stuff like that. But again, she wasn't listening most of the time because she thought she was trying to help, but then she doesn't know about the whole like how the mayor is basically corrupt and got some of the cop stuff in his pocket, even though he lost the election. So
Yeah,
he
yeah.
still had a good
Right.
bit of juice left.
Yeah. Yeah. He was a scumbag. That mayor.
Yeah, I mean,
For
the
sure.
dude had like so much money stowed away from his corrupt years.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it was comedy. Like in real life, like why are you keeping it there, bro? You should have moved this money out of this government office and stuff like that. But
I
with it
mean,
being
Well, he
yeah,
also
being comedy,
technically
let's
did because
overlook that.
he did have store accounts, which is smart. But then it's actually really funny that it also kind of showed that corruption is not removable from government because the idea was that this Choi candidate that was going against that current mayor was supposed to be the one that was like not corrupt and like good for the people and all that. And as soon as he gets elected mayor, he was given this option to like either throw it all away and get people in trouble that broke the law, or keep the money and let these people go. And he let the criminals go and kept the money to
Oh
himself,
yeah.
all
Oh
while
yeah.
it was being hush hush. So it was all kind of like showing that like corruption and scumbag politicians are here to stay type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like it's just a
Even
new
they
one.
not
yeah,
real talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, real talk.
but you know what I will
Yeah. So I
say,
thought that was
yeah,
a funny thing.
yeah, but you know what I will say, who was the smartest, who were the smartest ones in this movie?
Who's that?
Go ahead.
The smartest ones in the movie were the criminals who tried to set up the job, but they like dipped out, but they dipped, they got out of there. They were the smartest ones.
Which one? What are you
Oh, the
talking
guys
about?
that went to Montreal.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They were like, "Oh,
Oh,
we're getting
no,
out of
they
here."
weren't. Because they're dumb. They tried to walk to Montreal. They died.
no, they didn't.
Oh, y'all didn't keep watching after the credits. There was an end credits scene. They died
Oh,
walking there from the weather.
Oh,
what
they
the
did.
heck?
They did.
Yeah. You
Oh
can't
man,
walk from New York to Montreal in the dead of winter. That is like you're begging for death.
Well, man, I didn't see
oh,
that. But
that actually makes it a little bit more funnier now, where nobody got away unscathed in some way or another.
It was a clip of a police officer finding these two dead bodies in the middle of a huge snowstorm pile of storm, and it's these two doofuses with the bags they took, and they were like,
oh my
well, they didn't
god.
wear boots, so they
oh,
didn't get away.
oh,
Oh
They
man.
died like idiots.
that's hilarious. That's hilarious. That just makes it more
I'm
funnier to
surprised
me.
you didn't watch it, Alex.
Honestly, wasn't expecting this was the type of movie to have a post credit scene, mid credit scene, or anything like that. It didn't
I
have the
felt
vibe.
so empty. I felt so empty that I kept watching because I was like, give me something more. So that's how I found it.
I mean, I gotta watch that scene after we're done here. I gotta watch that scene.
Yeah, it's literally like a 15-30 second thing, but yeah, it was there.
Okay, well,
So yeah,
yeah,
nobody got out of this unscathed.
okay. So basically, everyone is an idiot, but it feels pretty realistic because even Ron Perlman's character as the mayor, the man didn't even know his own code to the safe. He literally had to keep it on his. He literally had to keep it on his own bracelet that got stolen from the
Right.
heist that went wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They were
Mm-hmm.
sitting there trying to come up with the combo.
Yep.
They had no idea.
And it's funny because Casey looked at it probably like once or twice and remembered the whole thing the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was funny. But y'all got anything else to say on the Instigators?
That was good one time watch.
Yeah, it was a
6
good
out of 10
Mm-hmm.
one.
for me.
It was a good one-time watch. But I will say, I think the most funniest scene to me, despite Casey Affleck commenting every single time for something, just shit talking, was that one scene where the heist went wrong and he stole an armored truck and they were literally face to face with this security guard who had a shotgun at the door, and they were basically trying to figure out, hey, is there somebody in there? And then they were basically just trying to challenge each other. But then
Yeah.
Rory and
Yeah.
Kobe just decided, like, hey, we're just gonna run now. We're just gonna run. I thought
Yeah,
that
I
was
really
that's
like
it.
that scene was funny to me. That was hilarious.
best scenes in the
Dude,
movie.
that scene, I was like the whole time, I thought he was tripping. Like I heard when he hit the brakes something moving back there, but I really didn't expect it to be a person back there. But then it did end up being that way, and I was like, oh shoot! Like I thought that was yeah. I don't know why I thought it was like just something else, but then everything made sense to me. I just caught it a little slow because he saw there was two phones, and so then he like yeah, it made sense.
Yeah.
I was just a little slow, but yeah, I like that scene too. That scene was good. But I think that's gonna do it for us. The Instigators. Um, one thumbs up from everybody. I think. If you have Apple TV Plus, we recommend taking a look at it. If you don't have Apple TV Plus, I don't think it is worth like getting a subscription to watch it personally, but there is a lot of other really good stuff on Apple TV Plus, so you could take a look. But anyways, the Instigators, we are the Big Screen Show. Thank you guys so much for watching. We try to bring you guys videos just like this at least once a week, sometimes more. So if you like videos like this, please make sure to hit the subscribe button because it really does help us out. And if you like this specific video, the best way to let us know is by hitting that thumbs up button. So we really, really appreciate it. But with that being said, we are the Big Screen Show, and we'll see you guys very soon. Peace out.